Kia ora Aotearoa, and it has been a sunny winter's day for most of us across the country. The bulk of the cloud is sitting just west of us, and as the afternoon and evening come on, that cloud does start to drift onto the country. These settled weather conditions are mostly due to this ridge of high pressure, keeping things nice and settled for most of us. Down in the far south, however, we do see the approach of this next frontal feature, so that'll be bringing some rain and some showers just for these far southern areas. So looking at the temperatures expected, the bulk of the evening should be more like partly cloudy conditions, so still those temperatures dipping down into the low singles, but for us here in the central North Island, maybe a little bit warmer due to some strong winds. Down south, we see that places like Christchurch and other parts of the Canterbury Plains, still a cold night expected, so some possible frosts down that way. So let's have a look at what we're expecting tomorrow, Thursday. Again, we've still got this high pressure system still holding on to the North Island. In general, the wind flow is westerly, so we see this trend of cloudier in the west and much more fine in the east. And that has implications in terms of temperatures, which we'll see in a moment. So let's take a closer look at the North Island. As the morning goes on, we see that increase of cloud, maybe even 1 or 2 showers in some isolated spots, but for most people, it should be a generally settled weather day. Out in the east, the day starts off fine, actually fine for most of the day, and that combination of clearer skies, more sunshine, as well as those westerly winds means it's going to be a warmer day expected out there in the east. So looking at those temperatures, look at that 19 degrees in Napier, up there in Gisborne around 17 degrees. For everybody else, very average temperatures in the mid-teens. Down here in Wellington, 13, and up in Auckland, about 15. Overnight, we saw that increase of cloud, which means that Friday morning, not looking too cold in terms of those temperatures. Auckland dropping down to about 11 degrees. Then heading down to the South Island, again, it is that west versus east, much cloudier with some of that rain now spreading northwards and even onto places like Southland and the central Otago region as the afternoon comes on. But out here in the east, a much clearer story. Again, fine to start off with maybe some frost in areas, but plenty of sunshine, and as the day goes on, a little bit of high cloud coming through. So that is also reflected in the temperatures we see in the east. Those temperatures around 17, places like Blenheim, Christchurch, even down in Dunedin around 16 degrees, whereas everywhere else, those temperatures are remaining in the mid-teens. For Invercargill, not a bad story, however, that rain is expected later on, so still a maximum of 14 expected. So looking at what we're expecting on Friday, again, it is this westerly flow across the country. We see those showers confined mostly to western places, but other spots could get maybe a shower or two. We're also expecting some of those winds to start picking up, especially over the North Island. Could be a bit of a breezy day on Friday. Heading into Saturday, however, we see this next weather system coming onto the country. It is looking to be progressively wetter as the day goes on, and also quite windy conditions. It is mostly for the North Island. You see those blue colors, meaning quite a rainy day, but we could see some of that drifting over the South Island. Now, how far south? Still to play for, but it is worth keeping an eye on the forecast on metservice.com. That's all I have for you for now. Ma te wa.